I got an email from someone I've been working online with, and she was saying that on one of the techniques that I had given her to work on, she found it incredibly difficult, which is not a surprise. All these techniques tend to be incredibly difficult, particularly in the beginning. If they're too easy, you know they're not doing them right. However, this particular person likes to run, and we know that she has been stabilizing her left hip, all her left, the left side of her pelvis, using the wrong muscles. So when you're not using your left adductor, your left hamstring, your left glute medius, and your left internal obliques for left stance, when you get your weight to the left side, if you're not using those muscles to stabilize your pelvis, you're going to be using your hip flexors and your lower back. It could be your QL, all the extensors, all those long back muscles that run from the sacrum, the pelvis, and various vertebrae all the way up to your neck. They're just called the back extensors. When you're using those, you're stabilizing with the wrong muscles. Now, when you're using those muscles, you're an extension. We're always talking about extension. By definition, you're going to be an extension. By definition, you're not going to be using your diaphragms, particularly your left diaphragm, to breathe. The right diaphragm is probably still being used. What she said was, when she was doing the technique, she kept feeling her weight shifting off her heel to the forefoot. And that is the pattern at work. That is what her brain wants to do. That's her old habit. So if her foot, now this is a right foot, just imagine it's the left, okay? If I have her sensing the heel, so when she shifts, she puts her back against the wall, she shifts her pelvis to the left. Her right knee comes forward, her left knee goes back, her lower back is flat against the wall, and she's breathing in that position, and she's sensing her left heel and the arch of her right foot, which tells her right side to disengage and allow her to shift to the left. When she has her weight underneath that left heel, when she is sensing the ground underneath this, look at this left heel, it's a hammer. You need heel strike with that heel on the left side. When she is sensing the ground underneath her left heel, she is going to be using her hamstring, her adductor, her glute medius, and her obliques. As long as her pelvis is oriented to the left into a right AIC pattern or a left AFIR position, when she's in this left stance position and she's sensing that left heel, she should be using those muscles. And she is. The problem is, it's not really a problem, it'll switch over pretty quickly. She feels her weight wanting to go forward. So what is that? Well, that is her brain not knowing really what to do. Because she's been stabilizing on the left leg with the wrong muscles for so long, that pelvis position that she's been stabilizing with has always been a pelvis that's forward. Now we're asking her to stabilize the left side with the pelvis back on the left. Her brain does not know what to do when she feels her weight shifting forward off the heel more towards the forefoot. That is the pelvis above it moving forward, and it's shifting her weight off that heel to the forefoot. That is the left AIC pattern. Her brain is simply trying to do what she's been doing for the past 15 years. Who knows how long? The point is, that's how she's been stabilizing her pelvis on her left leg. When her weight is on the left side, that's how she's been stabilizing for so long that now when I put her in a new position, which this technique does, it puts her body into a state of flexion instead of a state of extension. Her brain doesn't yet know how to do it. It wants to go back to the old habit. It's no different than when you're trying to break a habit in real life. Well, this is real life too, but when you're trying to break a behavioral pattern or a habit, when the demands of life increase, when the stress increases, can you rest comfortably and deal with it? Or do you go to your habit? Do you go back to the cigarette? Do you go back to the food to comfort you? Or is the attraction of, oh, this is uncomfortable being on my left side, breathing and feeling these proper muscles. When that stress is difficult, when that is stressful, because it really shouldn't be stressful, but when it's new and your brain doesn't know how to deal with this position that it's in right now, doesn't know what to do, it tries to go back to the old habit. Again, it's no different than if you're trying to break a habit. Maybe you shop too much, drugs, drinking, whatever it's gonna be. Whatever you're using to avoid the present moment, the uncomfortableness of the present moment, whatever you do to avoid that, that's what we're trying to stop. That's what we're trying to retrain. So you just have to acknowledge that, oh boy, my weight wants to go forward, knowing that's the left AIC pattern. That's just your brain trying to get you back to the point that back to the position that you're very comfortable with, which is also causing pain though. And it's really no different than if you're trying to break a habit in real life. You have to stay in that position, breathe, with that pelvis shifted to the left, back is round, side bent to the left, breathing, sensing that heel to get the proper muscle activation. So now your brain will accept that as the new way of doing it, so that when you go walking and running and wherever you're gonna do, and your weight, and you're doing it, your pelvis is doing this, called walking or running, that when it gets to the left, you stabilize that left leg during stance phase of walking or running with the appropriate muscles with that pelvis back. And that is really what PRI is trying to get you to do, is retrain the ability to stabilize that left side using the appropriate muscles and not letting your brain push you back into the old pattern, which is going to bring you forward and to the right, so that it can use, because in that position, then it can utilize the hip flexors and the lower back to stabilize that left side. If you found any of this video interesting, you could like it, you could share it, you could comment, you could subscribe to the channel, and click that little button for notifications for the updates. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day.